So here's just a Leon showcase.
So, as we all know, at the end of the first episode of the Pokemon anime features Ash and Pikachu looking up at the sky after getting attacked by a horde of Spearows and seeing the legendary bird Popo. But what exactly does this mean for both of them? Popo is said to grant eternal happiness to those who gaze upon its feathers. So, what exactly makes Ash happy? Going on a never-ending journey with his new partner Pikachu? That might explain why he never ages. Or maybe it's just the animation not changing. But it's fun to think about. Obviously, not everyone in the Pokemon world is vegan. So, where does all the meat come from? Are there milk tank slaughterhouses scattered throughout the world? Or is it all just substitute game? There was a set of flashing lights caused by Pikachu shocking some rockets. Those flashing lights caused
Don't
600
get
million
sap.
children in Japan to have seizures. Porygon and its evolutions were banned from the
I got
Pokemon
20
Company.
armor,
So, is Pikachu's
high
Porygon
armor tokens right now. I'm gonna save them
sweating, instead of
for
Vanilla?
OT and Pinello. I might not even use them. Who knows?
Many people mistook this for
There's a lot of meta units that I don't use anymore. Like I can't even think of the last time I used Cujo.
was a style in Japan known as Ganguru. Ganguru was popularized in the
I just
1930s
use
by
whatever I feel like. I don't care about the
artists who
meta.
tan faces and contrasting makeup. This is another classic series. A lot of these at the tip of the iceberg, I know. Basically, when Blue challenges you on the SS hand, he uses his beloved Raticate. After you inevitably defeat him, there's no Pokemon centers on the boat. So instead of asking for help, he just lets his Raticate die. I guess he was eating a Nuzlocke or something, because the next time you see him and he's in the Pokemon Tower, he mutters the phrase, "What are you doing here? Your Pokemon don't look dead." And he's missing his Raticate. He kept a consistent team, and this is the only time he switched up party member, I believe this theory. But he's always swapping party members. Raticate just sucks, so we just throw him in a box. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to put a picture of the screen. So in Generation 1, Lieutenant Surge states that electric Pokemon saved him during the war. But what war is he talking about? Unless he's a fake war veteran, there was no prior war in Generation 1. But I'd rather know why than when. During the Generation 3 era, many people spread playground rumors about the Moss Deep space station. Some say you have to wait until the rocket launch timer reaches zero. Once you do, you would be sent to the moon and you could fight Deoxys. A bug in Generation 1 allows you to fish in the statues you find at gyms or in any room of the Elite Four. But when using a Super Rod, the game will say, "Looks like there's nothing here."
Pokemon. Trace it.
There seems to be something behind it. Some say Pokedots were located there. Others say that's where you find the other stars. But nah, that's just Bill's marijuana farm. So back in 1999, Nintendo released an issue of Nintendo Power for April Fools that claimed that you could get Mario's favorite Dino Pal Yoshi by evolving it from Dragonite.
Love that weapon skin, by the
A
way.
lot of the issues took months
I
to
think
fix.
that's his
It
15.
was less obvious that it was an April Fool's prank. Buried Alive was meant to be the final boss of the original Red and Green until it was scrapped. Or that's what the creepypasta wants you to believe anyway. When he battles you, he sends out a decaying white hand. This might be a reference to the girl at Pokemon Tower talking about a white hand on your shoulder. If you lose, he just eats you alive. In Pokemon Black, there's a cutscene where you follow Zoroark into N's castle. Once you make it there, Zoroark is nowhere to be found, and is there. We know from Agatha that she and Oak were rivals at some point, so it's fair to assume that they were both trainers at one point as well. When he gets to the Pokemon League, Blue is champion, but who did he have to defeat to become champion? Oak. It's Oak. There's an unused boss in Red and Blue where you battle Oak, so it's likely that he was the champion. Take a look at Cloyster. Does it look familiar? Well, what about now? People theorize that when Cloyster inevitably dies, it becomes a Ghastly. Ghastly comes after Cloyster in the National Effects. They both turn blue and shiny, they both have a capture rate of 190, and both are 5'11". Genesect is said to have been an ancient Pokemon from 300 million years ago who's been modified. But Pokemon that was around 300 million years ago is Kabutops. That seems pretty normal at first, until we take a look at some of its Pokedex entries. It often talks about how it tries to hide its tail, kind of weird, and it gets even weirder when you notice its tail has eyes. So, is the real Pokemon actually a tail? And is Blue Block just a diversion? It would make sense seeing as a punching bag Pokemon. The Pokedots
Yeah, Freya and Beatrice go pretty good. She's not Wang. She's going up and attacking them. And they're both. That's some bull. Okay. He bad. I did not know she was wanged. Let me read Freya stuff. Nah, I can't read her attacks until it's her turn. I forgot. I just did it. Doing. I don't know. I ain't defending whatsoever. I ain't defending no. Oh, stupid. I ain't defending. What do you mean, huh? I don't know. What did I do? I'm trying to. That was mean, bro. What? Huh? I hope Penelo's debuff is like Beatrix because that she debuffs them before she actually hits them and applies her own buffs, cause that would be stupid. No, I mean she debuffs the party. Penelope LD debuffs the party and then put more buffs and then make her buffs permanent. So I hope she cleanse the buffs first. The debuffs, I mean. Because that would suck. If the debuff just pushed all of your own buffs off, and then her buffs push off your buffs right next to the debuffs. I hate that was this. That's a lot of hits. There shouldn't be that much traffic because a lot of people don't care about what's his name, FF13 villain man. Okay, well, as you read. What the GG. No. Huh? No, no. Yeah. They both do a lot of brave hits.